broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey! Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, this is the right show. This is just the sexy version of Hell's Kitchen.
You're here for Hell's Kitchen.
It's Hell's Kitchen, but it's the sexy version. We're just a little turf. There's a few reasons. We're going to get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in the right place. Again, this is the after show for Hell's Kitchen. I am your host, Lennon Gonzalez. I first want to say happy Black History Month. Last day is today. Also, leap year. Shout out to that. Shout out to
Why
my
not?
shirts.
That's right, yep, see you in 4, guys.
Because it is last day of Black History Month, and I'm just going to say nah to everybody from now on for the rest of the night. You can find me on social media. I'm going to just do a dance. You can find me on social media.
It's still playing. You still got to dance.
Exactly. At the Poet Saint.
Oh, look.
Yeah,
Nice.
all day. And next to me, looking splendid, like some brown sugar. Y'all give it up for Robin McSweetie.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Robin with the V here. And you can find me at B Stays Busy.
B stays busy, son.
Yes, she does.
Yes.
They call me Busy Bird.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the reason why we're so turned is because we're eating cookies that are sprinkled with crack.
Not just any cookies.
These are some serious crack cookies, and they're made with brown sugar, and it's awesome. And they are made by none other than Maria Provenzano.
Aw,
What's up?
what's up? You know what? I had to make my cookies for you guys, and I told them that the secret is in the brown sugar. So you can find me at Maria Provenzano, and this recipe will be posted on my blog, From Scratch with Maria, tomorrow. So look out for it.
I will be there. I'll be there. Yes.
And yeah, a little hint of cinnamon, some dark chocolate, some brown sugar.
Brown sugar. Hey! And of course, always down on the anchor, holding it down from day one.
Hey,
my
everybody.
main man, Frank Moran.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just a little hopped up. These cookies are so good.
Yes!
So good. It's going to be hard to hold on.
Frank
to
has
that
had
something
like
cool. Yes.
3 or
Yep.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, so good. We can talk all about my issues with these cookies though on Twitter. Follow me there at HappyGoJackie.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, because it is the last day of Black History Month, she is, as stated, a strong black woman. We have none other than special guest,
Woo!
Hell's Kitchen
Woo!
aficionado, still in the running for the championship,
Yes, she is.
Miss Ariel Malone.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hey girl, hey.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
And the crack cookies.
And the crack cookies.
So good.
So good, so good.
Next
Ariel,
time you come, I'll make something with cheese.
yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
You like this?
Yeah,
You
yes,
have a savory
I do.
tooth, not a sweet tooth.
Okay. But you still like the cookies.
I do
'cause
like the
they're
cookies.
that
Now I feel like
good.
next time I have to bring something.
You know what? I will
Actually,
not
We should have
complain.
like charcuterie next
Perfect.
time.
Oh.
I don't even know what that is, but
I was like,
want
I like a meat and cheese
I
platter.
want it. I want it. I want
She just
it.
that's in a fancy
Yeah,
way.
I think
okay,
so.
got
I
it.
think
I'm
so.
down for meat and cheese.
Now,
right?
earlier this week, though, I just want to. Lem posted out a little photo there, a little tweet,
Yes.
a
Yeah.
little meal that he had
I
at
did.
your fine restaurant there.
Yes,
Somehow,
yes.
our
Bragging.
picture got lost in the mail. I don't know where that
Bragging
happened.
Yeah.
again.
I mean, I'm just
Oh,
saying, like,
okay.
I mean, well, you know the perks when you're the lead host.
Got it.
You know,
Gotcha.
I mean, it's
Got
just,
it.
you know, you got to learn about your guests and learn about more about the business and Hell's Kitchen as all. But Frank, you got some stuff to talk about because you are the man at what is going on right now. Please tell us what you got to say, brother.
Well, you know, if you're like me and you have very low self-control when it comes to baked goods, you want to try to eat all of these,
Right.
and you want to take a nap.
Yes.
You know, I don't know about
Once
you
the
guys.
sugar high.
Right.
Yes,
you know.
yeah. After I'm done bouncing off the walls, I'm going to want to take a little nap. And when do I do that right there? I want to sleep well. Now, folks, changing the industry isn't easy, but we're seeing it more and more. Now, just think, thanks to new apps and startups, we're not just using taxis or hotels as much. And now with Casper, the way we buy mattresses is changing too. Now, I love how these guys turn the commission-driven mattress showroom on its head. And it's not just me that loves Casper. It's the most awarded mattress of the decade. That's right, the decade. Named one of the best inventions of 2015 by Time magazine. So you know that. You've got it going good when you get Time's mentioning you there. Casper is a single, perfect mattress for all sleepers. It's engineered for supportive comfort that guarantees a great night's sleep. Just like the new sheets and pillows. Their unique pillow and pillow design is the perfect ratio of squish to support. Sadly, I wish my shoulder was a Casper. Yeah, there you go. My shoulder's not a Casper, so I'm sorry, Maria. But it's but still, it's all right. It's still pretty supportive. Now, Casper ships its mattress for free in a surprisingly compact box, so you can try it at home for 100 nights, risk-free. And if you don't love it, they'll pick it up and refund you everything. That's right, everything. So now for a guaranteed great night's sleep, choose a leader in the mattress revolution, Casper. Try it for 100 nights in your own home with free shipping and returns. Go to Casper.com and use the code AfterBuzzTV for $50 towards the purchase of your mattress. That's Casper.com, code AfterBuzzTV for $50 towards the purchase of your mattress. Casper.com. Terms and conditions do apply.
So amazing.
I think I earned myself a cookie for that.
Oh, party foul.
Party foul.
It's the crack cookies. I'm telling you.
Oh, you gotta stay away from the crack cookies.
Yeah, you gotta stay away from them. So, as we stated, we do have Ariel here, and I'm so glad because you came at the right time. There was some stuff that went down in this episode that I was really concerned. I was concerned for your well-being on the show. I was like, is she going to stay? What's going to happen? I mean, you seem very determined, but I really want to get into that because literally, like right away, you fall down hard on the floor. And can you explain to us, please, what actually happened? We have a clean up in aisle 9 too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we might need to clean up.
If we can get some assistance. So just
He just made a crack cookie sandwich.
did he?
I didn't realize.
That's awesome.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, well, so I used to take a lot of dance classes back in the day. So, I was just having a good day. I was in a good mood. So I was dancing. I was going to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom. I had like a beer. Sometimes they make you have to go to the bathroom.
Right. Sometimes.
So I was like prancing through the hallways, I would say. So I like pranced. And then I pranced on my left leg, and when I landed, there was just no support. I don't have any muscles in my left leg, I guess, apparently. So yeah, it was bad. And then like I was like, I'm just gonna act like nothing happened. I didn't want anyone to know because then like all of a sudden in my head I'm like, they might send me home, and like everything is going through my head. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go to sleep, walk it off. Hopefully in the morning I'll be okay.
And that's basically how.
That's basically what happened. Yeah.
So now.
I just like bandaged it up, went to sleep. Woke up the next day, it was swollen, rebandaged it, put my shoes on, and went to the kitchen.
So was that a situation where were you in denial, or were you just like, I'm just gonna, I gotta plow through it, whatever the situation is, I'm not quitting?
Pretty much, yeah. I wasn't really in denial. The medic that I looked at my foot said that like I sprained a muscle. He later then said like I didn't break my foot because my foot is like one solid bone. So I was like, well, this guy knows what he's talking about. So let me, So I was like, he said nothing was broken though. So I tried to just like push through it, like hurt, whatever. But then after the challenge with Chef Andy, I was like, okay, like this is definitely more than just like a little. Because it was just a bruise or a strain, whatever. Like I'd be fine. I'm a strong black woman.
You showed that. You definitely showed that.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, what were you wearing to bed? Because that was really strong as well. You had like I don't know, like a Jerry curl with like I don't know, like a bathrobe, but that was multicolored, like
shower cap.
It's called a satin bonnet.
Is that
Okay. So all right. Imagine you just came at me like that. Well, so it was kind of hard to like facilitate, like put it on like pajama pants and all of that with my foot people. So I just put my bathrobe on, which was the Christmas present for my aunt. It is and you got camouflage pants on. It's a camouflage bathrobe. It's fleece. It's very nice. Okay. And then, if you know anything about curly hair, it's bad for you to sleep against your pillow. It can really make your hair frizzy. So I had on the silk bonnet so that my crown was protected.
Okay. I got it. And and you.
She's
can
co-signing.
on
Yes.
that.
Yeah, it's very important.
I mean,
Satin keeps it moisturized. Cotton will make it dry and brittle and break off.
Okay, so the satin is really.
So we gotta take care of our trust.
Okay, I got it. No, that's perfectly
And
fine.
the tresses look very lovely.
Yeah, very lovely, very lovely. I just was asking a question. I wasn't trying to come.
She was ready. She
literally
thought you were
was
coming
asking
for
a
her.
I
question.
really thought you were coming.
I was not.
For sure.
I just asked. I thought it was very imaginative, and the outfit, and I just was asking a question. I mean, that's all.
I mean, I may have seen like.
Pull out, Lev. You're crashing and burning on this.
No, I just really just was asking a question. That's it. I'm done. That's it. I was just asking a question. Oh man, so we're good. All right, sweet. Okay, so it's a whole lot going on right now. I need another cookie. In this particular challenge, we see actually a return of Andy, which is dope.
Yes.
It's actually Bryce, who's her husband, and Andy Kutzbeck, and they got married. And she, for those of you that have been watching this season, or Hell's Kitchen for a number of years, she was the sous chef for 6 years in a row. This is the first time she wasn't a sous chef. So good to see her back. I always had like a little mini crush on her. I always thought she was pretty dope.
Everybody did.
Right. She's pretty dope. And she like didn't care. Like she didn't play. Like when it came down, whenever I would see the red team, she was on it. She did not play. And it seemed like Christine's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Christina's doing the same thing. So the challenge was to come up with 6 different dishes, right? From each team. They had to have 2 seafood appetizers, 2 chicken dishes, and then 2 beef dishes. And then they announced the winner got to go to Vegas. This was the first Vegas trip of this season, correct?
Well, the first episode went to Vegas.
Right.
But prize-wise, yeah.
Prize-wise, it was the first trip to Vegas.
And the first time Ramsey ever said what the prize was before
Exactly.
the competition. So,
Exactly.
I mean,
Motivation.
It
right
was
there.
definitely
Yes.
some motivation there. So, of course, you guys have to figure out what you're doing. Since we have you here, what was your kind of motive? Why are you laughing? We got to ask the questions.
Of course.
Right. So what was the motivation for you in what you decided to choose?
It's just funny because like he was like, it looks like a penis, Ariel. It's like
Well, we
it's
haven't
a
got to
bull's
that yet.
dick.
Right,
So.
yeah.
So my motivation was not to put a penis on the plate for her wedding. That's not what I was going for.
Right.
But he said seafood, so I don't honestly. It's just like when you have that, like I think that was like a 20-minute challenge. It's just like at least my brain is just like screaming like a million different things.
Sure.
So like I don't know. I just grilled squid is like really good, and then I wanted to do like lobster and crab to make it more like elegant,
and
exactly.
yeah.
I definitely would have changed up the plating a little bit, but it was kind of like a grilled ceviche kind of thing, like really citrusy with a lot of like herbs and stuff stuffed inside of the squid.
Right.
I love stuffed squid though.
So me too.
Yeah.
It was just, and then I had second guess myself because I cooked the squid, and then I was like, I never like grilled a whole squid that way.
Okay.
So I was like, it tastes right, but then I'm like, maybe it's a little bit over. Because it's like a very fine line between being like over, under, and perfect, especially with squid. So I was like, I had someone taste it, and they're like, yeah, I think it's over. You never, ever listen to any, not even in a competition situation, but it's just like, that's one of those things where you kind of have to like go with your gut. And so like, I listened, and they're like, no, it's like way over. And so I fired another 2 squid, and they were like way under. So I was like, my heart was broken. So I was like, I knew if it was cooked right, like it would have been
It would have
bomb.
been good.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you know, it happened. So
And had you, so you've obviously made this dish several times. It wasn't like a first time try type thing. This particular like combination.
no, it was definitely a first. Everything that I did on the show pretty much is just like,
it was a first.
yeah, because it's like you have such a quick, like a short amount of time to like think of something to do. And I kind of like cooking that way anyway.
You do.
Like just like, like seeing the ingredients and cooking from the ingredients versus like trying to like plan out something in your head. It kind of to me doesn't work that way. It always works better the opposite, where it's like an ingredient and then you're like, oh shit, that's there, and then you like
Yeah,
mix
they
it
go
together.
together.
Yeah, and they're like,
Okay.
oh, and then you can also like in that moment like try different flavor combinations. Like, I wonder how this would taste. So you taste it a little bit, and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna go with that, because it's like if you go in with this something already set in your mind, then it's like too rigid, and like you really need to be able to.
Did they have like really gourmet, amazing ingredients stacked
Yes.
in that? I would
Yeah.
just like go crazy.
Yeah, it was like ridiculous.
It's like loaded up with saffron. It's like super
Yeah,
expensive.
and it was like it was crazy too, because then it's like you have to pick one of the options to cook. So I'm like, I wanted to like do one of each or something like that, but I was like, okay, seafood appetizer. It was that one was threw me for a loop a little
Got
bit.
it, got it.
Yeah.
But you were not trying to make a bison's penis.
That was definitely not. Yes, in retrospect, I would have
Okay.
definitely plated it.
Okay.
I would have cooked the squid all the way,
Right.
and I would have definitely plated it differently, and then I would have definitely won that.
Done that. Okay, cool. Because I mean, you obviously, and the reason why you're here and still on the show is because you are a strong competitor. So I can see how, and if you're saying now, which is amazing to me, to say you're going to make something new just about every single time, that just shows, how your mind works as far as a chef and wanting to explore and kind of do new things and excel at it.
And your
For sure.
creative abilities as well.
Right.
Yeah.
It really, honestly, like that's kind of like it's like in the industry, kind of when you're a line cook, you're pretty much doing what somebody else's recipe already was.
Right.
So I feel like for me in Hell's Kitchen, that's kind of like the first time where I felt like a chef because it's like it's you. It's like just you and like the knowledge that you have and like the palate that you have and what you can come up with. And it was like for the first time, like I would surprise myself sometimes. Like even with that one, like the plating was horrible, but it was like at that point, like it was just like get it on the plate and get it up to chef to taste it. Because like really the flavor is what matters at the end of the day.
Sure.
You know.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think that definitely like helped me like cooking with confidence. Like being on Hell's Kitchen brought that to a whole new level because it's like you really just have to trust like your flavor profiles and what you're doing.
Sure. So going into all the dishes being prepared, so when the dishes went up, we had it kind of broken up into the different sections. So we had the seafood, and then we had the chicken, and then we had the beef. Joey, he ended up having to make 2 dishes. And then it seems like the whole time, I feel like Manda and Jackie were kind of second guessing themselves. Like they were asking questions from their teammates. And then the blue team decides they're going to send up 7 dishes. What is going on? Like
Those are the blue team.
Right.
Frank.
Yeah.
It
decided.
literally was Frank all by
It
himself.
was. That's true. That's true. And to me, I'm telling you right now, Frank, he is the type of person I feel like he is not. He talks so much, and he's such a, I won't say a bully, but he's so forceful with how he is, but he doesn't deliver.
No.
I feel like he does not deliver with what he's saying. Like I don't feel like he's has moments, but then most of the time he's just hot air. Like he's talking, he's trying to be forceful, and this is a prime example because both dishes that he ended up making were boo-boo.
Yeah. And usually in those situations where somebody gets kind of boxed out, even
Right.
after the scoring, they'll say, well, hey, why don't you bring up that dish? And invariably it always ends
I
up
was
being like
waiting
the
to
best
see
dish
if they
one.
were
Yeah.
going to do that.
Exactly.
I
And-
thought Amanda's looked good,
Yeah.
like compared to his.
No, yeah, I think he just
Yeah.
bullied his way, and I was very surprised. I'm glad you brought that up, both of you, because normally he will do that. If
really?
if someone basically ended up getting pushed out, he'd be like, bring that up, and it usually ends
Yeah.
up being
I was
like,
waiting
good.
for that.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping, and I was kind of disappointed.
Right. But I think it probably was one of those situations where sometimes you'll have a situation where he'll make people choose. He'll be like, okay, you're making this many dishes, but you can only pick 3. But I'm making you do 4, so you got to pick, 1. And then they'll pick the boo-boo one, or the person that talks the loudest, or, whatever, ends up picking theirs, and then he'll ask. But because it was a situation where he didn't ask for that,
Right.
it was like they just ended up, Frank just,
bullied
I mean,
his
he
way
did
through.
ask. He asked the team to decide what dish was going to go up, and
okay.
Frank even
like,
like I
"This is
remember in tape, like when he was like, "We're doing this and we're doing that,"
That's
and
it.
everybody, like all of us, were like, even on the red team, were like, "Did he really just Devo her like that?" Like, did it? Like, there was no conversation with anybody on his
He just
team.
said it.
Boxed her out.
He was just like, yeah, but at the same time, like she should have spoke up.
She
She
should.
said that, but it's like she didn't say anything.
Right.
Like she wasn't like, hey,
She's
no, or like,
scared.
hey, the rest of my guy teammates,
Right.
like, what do you think? Or let's taste it, or something.
I feel like too, also being that she's new on the blue team, I feel like there's a lack of confidence with her.
Right.
They don't know what
has
she
to
can
prove
do
herself
yet.
and-
Exactly. So if they're gonna take anybody, if it was a side thing, I mean, obviously, like it wasn't even a vote. Like you said, he
Yeah.
voted away, and boom, this is what we're doing. But even if it was a vote, I think it would have went his way anyway, just because they don't know her yet, and they're just gonna side with what they feel is.
But
comfortable.
Carmen played very well in that situation, I think,
Yes.
regarding that, because it was
Right.
like, have a seat.
Right.
I'm going to use both my dishes.
Right.
And
both
both
my
my
dishes. I'm gonna use with both my dishes.
But it's described as hospital food.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
bad.
right.
That was bad. That was
Oh.
bad. So we know what Ariel made, and Chad made pasta and prawns. Joe made some seafood chowder, but it was actually Kristen's dish that ended up winning that particular round. What was it that she made? I didn't catch that quite. What was it?
she made a crispy shrimp,
Oh, that's right. Tempura shrimp.
tempura shrimp, and then I helped her make the coleslaw, so I half won that.
I saw the eye roll. I was like, it's coming. She's
like, I don't know what to do with the shrimp. And I'm like, listen, girl, do this. And then I'm undercooking my squid trying to help her.
See how
You know,
it
they
goes?
say when you're on the airplane, you have to secure your oxygen mask first before you help other people.
That's such a great point.
That was something.
All right, so then we get into the beef, and then we have Hassan who made ribeye, and with he had. What did he have? He had some caviar on the
Caviar
ribeye.
and the well, they
Mashed
said
potatoes.
potatoes, yeah.
Yeah, the potatoes.
Which you would think normally
yeah.
caviar. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Not on potatoes, but like caviar. I think on obviously like eggs is like the deviled eggs or something like that. I guess I wouldn't think that it would be bad on potatoes, but
it seemed like a very weird
Yeah.
combination.
I think it would be bad on potatoes.
it's like
Yeah.
salty.
Right.
But I feel more like the consistency of it with the potatoes is kind of
Kind
weird.
of mush in
And
there.
then also, maybe if it was like a fried, like crispy, like something
Yeah.
like like smaller,
were mashed?
it was like just mashed
Right.
potatoes. It wasn't anything like elegant about it, and then the caviar
Right.
was just like on top of it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just add caviar to make it
Right.
sound like it's fancy.
Exactly.
Right.
I think that's kind of what the go for was, which didn't work. And so Jared's dish disappointed also, and we all know Frank's dish sucked. And so that particular winner, that one, I didn't catch that one
Danny.
either. That was Danny.
Danny.
That one. Oh yeah, Danny. Yeah. So let me. I want to.
She's not going home. She's not going home this week. She's not going home next week.
Wait a second. So I mean, okay, I talked about Danny earlier, previous episodes.
Yeah, she's your favorite.
She's not. Oh, first of all, she's not. You need to stop that. You need to stop that. I did not say that. I did not say she was my favorite. I said that I appreciate Danny because I like the fact that she's very assertive.
Yeah.
And like when she first came out, when they had the first challenge, and she talked about being a boxer and all of that, and I just like
that was
her
cute.
presence. Yeah,
I'd be.
Exactly.
I think she could beat me up.
Yeah, really. But speaking of her, she actually didn't do well this particular time. And my question to you is, did you? Because to me, on your team, you all. Why are you looking at me?
I'm just waiting. Ask me the
Without
question.
side eye,
Ask me the
please?
question.
Okay, without the side eye. Thank you. So, being that you two were very strong females on your squad, did you? Because I didn't really see this much, in the taping. What we saw, the edited version. But did you guys bump heads a lot or at all?
Well, you saw that one.
Right. Well, that was the one time, but that was it.
But they don't show much of like
Yeah.
Well, no, that was really it. With Danny and I was more of just kind of like, there can't be two queens in the house,
stay
but
in
it was
your
kind of like
lane.
exactly like
I stay in
you
mine.
stay on your side, I'll stay on my side. So it was kind of like a mutual respect, kind of like that.
Well, I noticed that for like Chef Ramsay sent Hassan over there, in the sense like, hey, you guys got to try to bring your sense of leadership to the red team.
Yeah.
But he felt like he's after those weeks of doing that, he kind of faded in the background. You've been stepping up as being sort of like the de facto leader, just kind of really driving that kitchen.
Well, he even says that. That's what Chef Ramsay says, and
Right.
that you had taken over and showed good leadership skills.
Yeah, I think that Hassan kind of like, I don't know. I think that for Hassan and Danny, that switch, that team switch,
Yeah.
was like messed with both of their heads a little bit.
Right.
Like totally. So I feel like I think he chose to kind of fade to the back because there was so much confrontation with him, like
Right.
trying to be a leader, and everyone was, and that's kind of how it was on the red team. It was kind of like it just had to emerge naturally because anybody who said like I'm gonna step up and I'm the leader,
Everyone's
obviously,
like,
yeah,
got
everyone's
attacked.
gonna be like, excuse me, like it kind of has to naturally like you just
Right.
whatever. So
Right.
I mean
Step up.
that wasn't necessarily my intention, but it's just like that's what you have to communicate. Like I was just doing what I was always taught to do in a kitchen and in that situation.
Yeah.
And Chef Ramsay like tells us the beginning of like every service, like look out for these things, like make sure you're on top of these things. So it's kind of like he's telling us what each one of us needs to get better at doing.
Right.
So all you have
Right.
to do is just listen to your chef, and that's
And get better.
And then you'll be good to go.
I do think it got to Danny like mentally because she wasn't even open to having Hassan, like come and step
Yeah.
in, you guys being a unit, and I think mentally that really messed with her.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
the whole scallops on the sticky pan thing, all of that.
She was a mess.
Out of
this
character.
particular, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't for her. But going back into last episode, you were crowned the leader by Chef Ramsay. When it was time to deliberate. which some of the women on your team, or some of the red team, I should say, because there's not all women, but some of the red team did not like that, or so we saw.
Yeah.
I'm interested, because I was waiting to ask you this when you were going to come on the show, your approach, because typically there's a situation where it's like, okay, who you guys want to vote? And it was like you said, hey, you're going. Huh, you two, and you're going. Okay, good night. I'm going back to put my robe on.
Don't even
and
plead your case.
My silk.
and I'm going to sleep. Like, it really
Yo,
was
love,
like
you-
straight
you're-
up hard. Because you talk about Debo, like you really Debo'd them.
Well, first of all, we at the end of every episode you have to give your nominations anyway. So it's like as soon as we lose, I already know who I'm gonna nominate. So why? Because Chef gave me the power. Would that be any different? Like it to me, it's clear like what went on in service. I think that was 2 episodes ago. And like for me personally, like Chef was definitely not happy that I put Kristen up. You could tell because he's like doing the Ariel face.
Right.
So my whole thing was just like she came over to help Jackie. She looked at the bowl of fries. She clearly knew it wasn't 2 orders. That's why she asked Jackie,
She asked.
is it 2 orders? You already know it's not 2 orders. You're looking at it. So, like, you're going to be in a head chef position. Like, you need to make an executive call. So, fire a few more French fries. So, what if you have 3 orders? At least you have, for sure, the 2 orders that you need to go up.
Right.
So, to me, it's like when somebody goes to help another station, if they don't, that's not helping. Like, what was the point of you going over there? You made the situation worse, if anything.
Sure.
So that was my reasoning behind it. I didn't really feel like there was anybody else that like had really messed up besides them 2.
Got it. Okay.
And it was clear with Jackie too. It said like, and everyone said like when your best friend on the show is like starting to get annoyed with you, like Jackie and I clicked really well because she was from Jersey and she's like a no nonsense and she's funny. But at the end of the day, like there's really no like space for like your ego in the kitchen. Like you have to be humble. Like whether you're a dishwasher or the executive chef, like you have to be humble. That's like part of the hospitality industry.
you have
Is
to
like,
produce at
and
the
you
end
have
of
to
the day.
produce
And
for
when
sure.
you mess up, you have to be able to stand up and say I messed
Right.
up.
Exactly. I messed up. I need help. Like there's no reason to be like, no, I don't need help. I didn't ask for like, no, just we
Yeah.
have to get service done. We have to get the food out.
Thank
Like
you might help. A thank
Yeah.
you when you get the help instead of denying that you're not overwhelmed.
Exactly.
maybe.
See, like nobody knew that you helped with the coleslaw.
Yeah.
See, right.
You'd have to step up and say,
Exactly.
I helped.
Yeah, like actually we both won that.
Yeah.
And not even that, but I felt like she was the person who I'd asked about my squid. So to me, it was just like we're working right next to each other. You ask me for an idea, and like I'm helping you. But you know, it's to each his own.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. To each his own. You like to just Debo the people. And you just tell them that
Well,
they're
nah, and then maybe I was a little bit bitter because I had helped her, and then like whatever. But I don't think I deboed.
No,
like,
you did. I mean, you did what you had to do. You had the charge to do it. I just had never seen. I mean, it was just a no nonsense type thing.
But like I said, like I had already like during any elimination, like chef makes us decide. Like you
Sure.
already know
Sure.
at pretty much during dinner service, you should already know the 2 people that you think need to go for elimination.
okay.
So that's why to me, like there wasn't really a need for deliberation. Where I'm going to sit there and like listen to everyone tell me what they have to say when really I don't care. I already have decided. So I could do that, I guess, to make them feel better.
But
Yeah.
You'd wanna be like
you didn't
Jared and just
Godfather them
yeah.
like Jared.
Yeah, like
Oh my God,
Come
that
on
was
in.
terrible.
it was funny though the way they showed it in the editing. He's like, so
Tell me, what did
So-
he say? Like, tell me.
He goes, plead
Plead
your
your
case.
case.
yeah, he really
It was
said
like
that.
he's a
Where to
Godfather or
help
something.
me.
Yeah.
Which taking a moment
That
for
was
Jared, I will say when you come back in after hurting your ankle, I like the first face they show is Jared. Like, what is there a foot I can rub? Yeah. Is that a foot I can rub?
On it.
Oh my God.
Oh
That's
man.
hilarious.
Could I just say that Andy in our chat says preach, Ariel?
Preach. Get it.
I love it.
Okay, so obviously, you know, when we get down to it, and the challenge itself, the red team or the blue team ends up winning. Thanks to actually Joe
Yeah.
won it, and he actually pulled out. You know, this is the second time that he's done this, so he's kind of on a roll when it comes to pulling out at the very end.
That was just too easy.
Yeah,
It really was.
I'm gonna keep
Okay.
going.
Just
Okay,
keep
I'm
going.
just keep going. Okay, so so the challenge obviously Vegas, right?
Yes.
The winners get to go to Vegas, so the blue team goes to Vegas, and they end up doing the zip line experience. And Joe ends up, being okay. He was scared at first.
That was sweet. I
but
thought
he,
it was cute.
he was okay. He made it work.
Well, Frank was there to support him. I don't know if you guys saw
I
that.
saw that.
They,
They're like holding hands at the
yeah.
end.
It looked like it.
Romance.
Or does
Brewing.
Frank have a soft side?
Well, no.
I don't know.
I think no.
No.
I
Because there was
think
that scene
not.
with Frank and Manda where he's
That
like,
is the funniest.
Yeah.
Oh, where it's like
I wish you could have been there. It was so funny.
I can't believe she actually
Frank!
screamed.
Frank! It was so funny.
Dude, so I mean, like it was like a shouting match. Like my thing is
But he
like he
wanted her
just
to.
seems
He
right,
basically
but
was like louder.
but
Like
he
basically.
seems so. I mean, I understand he's a military dude. I've been in the military
True.
8 years. I know how that is, but you don't translate. That's for them. You know what I'm saying? Not in the kitchen sense where he's wanting her to just, you don't have to yell. You know
It
what I
seems
mean?
like he's roided up.
But he hasn't said that to any other guy on his team.
Right. Oh,
So,
that's
I'm just
true.
saying.
Yeah.
That's true.
Manda's
yeah,
over there, and now he's like taking this.
With her.
I'm gonna
With
bully
her.
you and make 2 dishes,
Yeah.
F your dish, F
Right.
your couch,
Right.
and now I'm gonna tell you how to talk to me and yell,
Yeah.
and I don't.
He
I
says
don't
that
like
about women. Like he says that he just doesn't like. That's he's
There- I
kind
don't
of
think there's
chauvinist.
any
where
Yeah, I
he's
think
like-
that was like a commercial. But he really, I mean, dealing with him, he really, I don't know. He's like, I didn't feel like.
But you're a strong black woman, so
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not gonna pull that with you. No.
I mean, that's true. And I also just kind of like don't get phased by stuff like that. But I think that it was a little exacerbated, like those few scenes.
Okay.
Okay.
He was generally like a funny guy, but definitely like when he was serious, he was serious. Like he was either like funny or serious. There was no like chill Frank.
I can see
He's
that.
either
I
like
can see
really chill, funny, making jokes, or he was like, Frank, would you want to speak to me?
That's hilarious. All right, so I want to talk about because you obviously you guys lost, unfortunately, so you guys had to help with the prep for the wedding reception, and Hassan seemed to have this love affair with the wedding coordinator,
He's so
Kristen. Was that also exacerbated, or was that like real? Like,
No, he was like really annoying with that.
he was.
It was just like, but it was like, what was the point? Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get her number.
Right.
Like, what? Like, I didn't get it. But he was really like, oh my god, she's so beautiful.
She's like an angel, wrapped like an angel, and stuffed
Yeah.
in another angel.
On a bed of angels.
They're angels, yes.
Lots of angels.
Oh,
He was
man.
serious about that though.
Yeah, he was serious. Okay. So, getting
They're
back to
dating
you, Ariel, your foot starts hurting more at this point. And Jackie tells you, and she said something, and I wanted to see how you felt about this because she blatantly tells you, and this is your girl, she's like, oh, if you get a cast, you're going to go home. Like, she just blatant. And then it kind of cuts to commercial after that. How were you feeling in that moment? Did you take what she said to heart? Were you kind of
I felt like your
second-guessing?
shirt. That's how I felt.
Nah.
I'm like, nah. You see my face. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, I know there was a previous season where a gentleman that broke his ankle and his wrist.
Yes, I know exactly what you're
He
talking
stayed
about.
on the show.
He won. He won.
Yeah.
But then there was like other seasons I've seen, like there was like some old guy like sprained his knee,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Chef was
Oh,
like,
my.
"You gotta
You
go,
gotta go,
you
right.
gotta go, bro." So it was kind of like I knew it was kind of like a 50-50 thing, and then it was just like they were definitely gonna have to drag me, like kicking and screaming, like you're not saying, like you're not like this is not for this is not happening. And then once it was my pinky toe, I'm like, it's my pinky toe,
Right.
like my pinky toe.
I feel like there's nothing you can really even do for that, right? They just like kind of wrap it up tight.
Yeah, well, they put me in like one of those like air
Boot
boot
things,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. But it was like, I don't know if you saw then, like when we were doing the prep and I came back, I was like at the table, like Chef had kind of put me on like table duty. Like Chef Ramsay was like, unless we're in service, like you're sitting on the table, like you're
Okay.
sitting down. That's it. So
That was nice.
that was like the hardest part for me because I'm like, oh, I gotta help, like I gotta
Oh,
do this,
you
I
are-
gotta do
you
that.
are
Yeah,
really
like to
help.
be moving and like my foot didn't hurt. So it was like
Oh god.
I wasn't in any pain.
One thing-
Once I got the boot on, when it was wrapped up, like during the Chef Andy challenge, like my foot was,
It was hurting.
it was hurting, yeah, for sure.
One thing I do notice that when it comes to like people's injuries and people getting hurt and things of that nature, he seems to be very concerned. And ultimately, obviously, for a number of reasons, you don't want anybody to further injure themselves or make the
Right.
situation work. In the kitchen, it's obviously a high stress environment. It's called Hell's Kitchen, obviously. So,
Liability there, too.
I mean, every time I've seen somebody, unless it's like an excuse thing where you're like, "Oh, I don't feel good," and you're like, "You need to get together."
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? but when you're seriously injured
Right.
and the medic is like validating all of that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. But yeah, like you said, it has gone in previous seasons, gone both ways. So you never know. But I mean, when I saw your face and you were just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I figured you were gonna stay. You know, it wasn't gonna be a situation going. Especially like you said, it's your, what did you call it? There's a, what's the actual term for it?
My fifth
Metatarsal.
metatarsal.
That's right.
Metatarsal.
Yeah,
So it's like the little bones in your toes.
in your toes.
Yeah.
And that
We're
was
kind of
broken.
like already broken anyway,
Right.
but like,
They're like so tiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I broke my.
Yeah.
It was pretty much like my pinky toe.
Right. So
I would say one thing that was broken though were those macaroons that they were making.
Yeah.
Those
What
were
was
the
that?
worst.
You know
they
what?
can't serve those. Those were awful.
Those are tough to make, though, right? I mean,
Consummate
there's
baker,
some
yeah.
major technique when it comes to making
Yeah.
French macarons, and I mean anything from like having aged eggs, the certain temperature.
Really?
Like there's a technique in how you put them.
That's like,
onto
why can't we make
macarons.
just like Jewish macaroons?
Yeah, I
Everyone's like,
know,
what's
those are
Jewish macaroons?
good.
I'm like, it's just sugar, coconut, egg
You should-
whites.
and
like,
you just plop
so
them on
good.
a pan and put them in the oven.
Exactly.
They're really
Dip them in
good.
some chocolate. They're so
They're
good.
so good and they're easy, but no, these
Yeah.
the French macarons are very
French.
technical.
very technical. And he even said, like, when he said, "Are you gonna make them?" He made it seem like it was gonna be hard. Like
Yeah.
these are like,
Oh, yeah.
he already
you're gonna
knew.
make difficult macarons.
No, and then we had to like use like gold dust and put A's and
course you did.
B's. Ben, is that our husband's name?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Bryce. So they put A's and B's with like gold powder on each macaroon. I was like, oh
That
my
actually
God.
sounds like a fun
Yeah.
day to me.
Yeah, I wasn't
Anyway.
too upset that I was at like after. I was like in the clinic that whole time.
Yeah,
like
right.
I came back for the gold leafing part. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good.
Awesome.
Yeah, what are you guys worried about? It's fun.
Hilarious.
200.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot. So service starts, and unfortunately, you know, as in true, seems like Hell's Kitchen fashion, you know, someone's going to mess up initially. And Jackie was the one that took the brunt of that. And she starts off with not enough risotto. She had like 1.5 portions or something like that. Wasn't quite enough. And then your girl Danny doesn't use a nonstick pan
That was right
actually
in front of
sitting
her.
in front of her. So my question, I'm thinking all the pans are this, you know, my naivety, but all the pans are the same. So there's stick pans and non-stick pans.
Well, they're not stick
I mean,
pans.
not stick. I mean,
This is like a regular like
Regular
saute
pan.
pan,
Okay.
and then there's like the non-stick pan with a Teflon coating in it.
and they're used for making different things, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, you can really use like the regular like aluminum pans for anything, but it's like to sear scallops in them. Like usually you use like a bigger scallop, and then also you have to get the pan like ripping hot. And so I think that might have been the problem because like we were picking up the fish on the flat top, so like to get the pan ripping hot on like without the direct heat kind of takes a little bit longer.
Right.
So and then also like chef buys the non-stick pans just because it makes it easier to
Yeah,
do
so
scallops.
it's
You don't have
just-
to worry about it. Like
Yeah.
you just
Got
put
it.
them in the pan.
Got it.
So, but the thing with non-sticks is that if you use like metal utensils in them, it messes up the Teflon in the pan.
And they can be toxic, actually,
So
too.
and yeah, if you get the Teflon in the food, yeah.
And the food.
Yeah.
Got it.
oh
Interesting.
my gosh.
So yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty messed up. And I think, and it seems like we were talking about this earlier, and you could more attest to that. It seems like she was breaking down a little bit because something simple like that, it seems like, you know, was something she wouldn't do because
Yeah.
she's been pretty
It
strong
really
and
seemed
solid.
like she wasn't there.
Yeah, she wasn't there at all. And
Yeah.
obviously, you know, when we talk about it in a second, she got sent up. But Hassan sends up raw chicken, and Jared actually prays about his raw chicken and is praying that he doesn't send it up. And his prayers are not answered because the chicken is raw.
Raw, yeah.
And we were talking about this earlier about it being a situation where is it the way the chicken was set up? It seemed like it was very thick.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it would have been hard to cook it right. Like either you're gonna overcook it easy or undercook it easy, and hard to get it just right. Would you attest to that?
I mean, roulades are hard just because it's like the meat, like usually like test meat by seeing like how like dense it kind of gets like during the cooking process. So
Right.
with that preparation, it's kind of hard to tell because it almost always feels like it's cooked. But it's pretty hard to overcook something like that, just
Okay.
because it's like wrapped in itself and it's so juicy, and it was like wrapped in speck too.
Okay.
Was it stuffed?
It had I think like
Like a
provolone
cheese?
cheese and
Okay.
basil inside of it.
So
I mean
that'll
basil,
that'll
yeah.
keep it moist, too.
Yeah,
Other
and that's
people
what I'm saying.
feel
So
very
it's-
strongly about that word.
And
but-
it was
Sorry.
So it's honestly like harder to overcook that. It's definitely very easy to undercook it,
Right.
but it's pretty hard to overcook
Well, that's
that.
what we were wondering. I'm like, God,
Yeah,
what a
like
choke.
we
Because
were
I'm like,
talking about that.
yeah.
That's like when we came back after Haas sent up the raw chicken. I'm like,
Right.
just throw all of them in the oven. Like, especially if you've ever done catering or anything like that, you would hold that normally in the oven so it stays hot. So like you can kind of keep it in there for like at least 10 minutes after the the time that you think it would be done. Yeah.
Right. And
So-
it won't, and that's to keep it so it doesn't it won't overcook because,
Yeah.
like you said, it's thick. But then you know it's going to be cooked right.
Yes.
Well, and then anytime you're cooking with, especially like any kind of meat, you want it to
You want it to
set. You
sit,
don't want
yeah.
to cut it right away
Yeah.
because then all the juices are going to
Yeah.
get everywhere.
Exactly.
So as you guys are during dinner service, there's a lot going on, obviously, for this event, and I think he was taking. It seemed like to me he was taking special care and pride into it because it was Andy and the history that she's had with the show, wanting to make sure it's done right. You guys actually get sent to the back. Talk about that. What happened?
I think we got sent to the back after Hassan's chicken.
Yes.
The second
time.
Right.
Yes.
Second
The
one.
second time.
So I mean,
How are those moments though when you
thought-
come in? Because it's always like the camera right above the door, so when it
Right.
slams, it
Yeah.
vibrates a
Yeah.
little
Yeah,
bit.
but your reaction, she's like, oh.
I mean, it's because it's
I have
always
to walk
just
over there
like
in this boot.
that was starting to get annoying. Like how many? But yeah, it was just like for me, it was like I said, like just sear off all the chicken and then put it into the oven. Like especially when you're doing something like a wedding, it's rapid fire. Everything's gonna go out. So it's not like it's gonna sit there and die. And like you said, if it sits for a little bit, it's like the resting time. None of the meat was gonna be sitting for longer than a 10-minute period.
Right.
So it was kind of like, I don't know what it was. If he was flustered about the team switch or like what was, maybe he was dreaming about the angel, stuffed in an angel, wrapped in an angel.
Well, I noticed
Skewered by an
Jared cut his. He slices and like
He checked
double
it.
checked.
Yeah.
Did Hassan do that like off camera that we don't know about, or?
Not that I know of. And that was the other thing though. Like Chef really wasn't like he would rather you like double check something like
Right.
that than like bring it to the pass raw. Like he would
I was
much
wondering if
rather
Jared was
that.
going to get in trouble for that. I thought, like, for a second,
I was
he
actually
going
happy
to.
he
Cut
did
it,
it.
right.
I was
Yeah.
happy he did it.
Yeah.
honestly.
And that's another thing too. Is it's sometimes it's hard because you want to check, and a lot of times he wants to do that at the pass.
Yeah.
And so if you do that, then it's going to ruin it, and then he's going to get upset, and it's going to
You
be
can never be
Yeah.
too sure.
Right. Yeah.
But
I
it's
mean,
still like I'd rather be sure and get yelled at for cutting it than bring up a
Right.
raw chicken.
Exactly.
like
I
it's gonna
thought
be
you guys
worse.
were done because he literally said one more mistake.
Yeah.
And that was one more mistake.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like,
And I love that moment too because they cut all the music out of that. It was just
Yeah.
and it was just Gordon talking about it. You're like, man,
Yeah.
all right, he is
Yeah.
not screwing around.
right. He had
my
me head
armpits
down
were
and everything.
sweating.
Yeah. And I feel like that's like a glimpse of what, because someone had told me a guy I used to do the show with. He said that he actually saw there's an uncut version that you can watch that they put on DVD, and it's like all the swear words,
Uh-oh.
and then no music. So it's
Oh,
like
no.
so
Just
it's like
raw.
you get the raw what you actually
Yeah.
feel, and it's like a totally different experience.
Really?
watching the show. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe we can watch that one.
we may have to. We may have to.
And just kind of get it. So, of course, nominations happened for both teams because both teams didn't do well. So, your team, Red Team, nominates Hassan and Danny, which is no surprise in my opinion. Blue Team nominates Chad and Jared, which, I mean, okay, I wasn't too mad. I mean, it could have went another way too, because like I think just for the sheer of how she's having an issue, I thought Manda might have got put up.
Yeah.
She did not, which I'm kind of glad because I think she still is not getting a fair shake on that team.
Right.
So
Right.
the fact that she didn't get and can move on.
Well, because
is dope.
Chad gets the when he blows the fish,
Right.
And Gordon just looks at him like, "You bleeping disgust me."
Right.
Both are like, "All right, see you
Because
later."
it was like
Chad."
the easiest thing.
Yes.
I mean, it was literally the easiest thing, and he even said that he's like, "This is the easiest thing to cook, and you just can't make spam."
I think it's also Chef is like because Chad like he definitely had like the most accolades like on his resume,
Right.
Like
Michelin
Michelin
star
star
restaurants.
restaurants and all this
Expectations
and
were
that.
so
So
much
it's
higher.
like yeah,
Got it.
And I feel like his demeanor in the kitchen, Chad's, he was always very much like so proper and like yes chef, and even when the
Right.
what did he say to him?
You
You're-
bleeping disgust me.
Yeah, he was like yes chef. I was like, like bless your heart,
Yeah.
like, poor thing. Like I felt
Bless
so
your
bad
little
for him. So that's where I was like, kind
Right.
of sad.
Trying to figure out. So, the person that ends up going home is Hassan. So I
My
will
Detroit
say-
boy.
yeah, right.
I'm
I
a
will
Michigan
say-
girl, so I was a little sad.
Right. Personally, I
I
was,
was
surprised.
Yeah, as
I was
did
too.
not, I did not think he was going to go home. I thought Danny was going to go home over
I
Hassan.
did too.
But I didn't want either one of them to go
I
home.
mean, not that I wanted them to go
I
home.
know, right?
I really thought.
He's
Danny's
like,
my
I
favorite.
kind of liked. Well, I liked both.
I really,
I
thought
really-
it was
yeah.
Danny.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. I would have loved for Jared to go home personally. I didn't think he was
They
going to
kind
go home, but I mean, I'm just kind of tired of him. And
Are you
kind
tired of him
his
flirting with
antics.
everybody?
Well,
I mean, just tired of him. Period. Like he's just too much. Like
When he
just,
says he's the strongest competitor in the kitchen,
Yeah.
cut to Ariel's eye roll like, oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Wait, Jared said that?
Jared says that when he's pleading his case to Chef Ramsay, and then it
yeah.
cuts to you when
Oh,
after
yeah.
he says,
Oh,
"He's
yeah.
the strongest competitor
you
in this
seriously,
competition."
I think.
I think I rolled my eyes at Danny and Jared.
Yes.
And then Hassan, I was like, yo, like,
Yeah.
he should, like, my face was like, yo, he's right. Like,
Yeah, he should.
Yeah.
But you do literally have the strongest eye roll, like out of everybody. Like probably all the seasons. Like your eye is super strong. It's very strong. No, but I'm just saying, like that's it adds to the flavor of the show.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate.
I hear that a lot.
See? Just confirming. You know, it's just what it is.
gotta
But
work on
Hassan does go home. You know, like I said, I thought it mine was going to be Danny, but any of those, like I said, my pick would have been Jared just because of how I feel about him. But Hassan does go home, and I think, I don't know. I mean, he went over to help them out, and then goes home. So it's kind of like,
That's really weird. 'Cause I
Yeah.
thought they were gelling. I
Right.
thought you guys were gelling once he came over there.
Do you
so.
feel like with Hassan over there, were you gelling with him, or was he kind of like just more of a like, whatever?
I mean, again, like, I guess I like everyone that other people don't like. So he was like an underdog, and everyone, like, because he was so loud, like, everyone was like, he's so loud, and he's this, and he's that. But, like, I'm kind of a loud person. And and to me, like, he produced
Right.
sometimes, minus the raw chicken. I did
Right.
say, like, yo, why can't you produce? But, like, in challenges and stuff like that, like, he always did
He
good.
did well.
Most
His
of the time.
flavor
Right.
profiles were good. Like, I thought that he was a strong cook. So I was definitely surprised. I enjoyed working with him.
right.
But I also enjoyed working with Jackie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's alright. You can be loud if you can back it up with your food.
Exactly.
It's only when, like with Frank, if you can't back it up with the food, then
Yeah.
it gets a little like, oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. I can't. Well, anyway.
That's a whole
That's a whole other story. But let's do that. Let's just really quick. We got 3 more minutes. Let's get into predictions. Let's do that right now. See what's gonna happen.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, Frank. Real quick.
Yeah, I'm generally surprised. I was thinking Hassan was going to go a little bit further than he was. So,
I did too.
Yeah, so you know, and it's not just like I was on bro nosing because you're sitting right across from us there.
Right.
But you know, the smart money starts moving towards Ariel, running
Right.
farther in the competition. So
Okay.
look at that, because I don't think Danny's got what it. I mean,
Okay.
sure she'll beat me up afterwards for saying this.
Ah.
Easily can
Right.
take me down.
Oh, she tweets. So
Yes.
she probably will.
oh, she tweets.
She does tweet.
Yeah.
She's tweeted already. So you may
There
be
you go.
coming up for a bruising. Just saying.
But we've seen Ariel rising in the kitchen. She's going to run that
So-
red team.
So you think Ariel's going to be a front runner for
Yeah.
the red team? Okay. What do you think, Maria?
I think it's going to be an interesting show for Amanda. I think it's sort of going to be the make or break. You know, can she rally? Is she, like, it's going to show her true colors? Because, you know, based on obviously the previews, there's like something going down.
Right.
And I think we're going to learn a little bit more about her, and we're going to kind of see what's going to happen. With that, I think it'll be a make or break for her.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Robin, what do you think?
I'm definitely rooting for Ariel. We have the same eye roll going on. I'm also curious about Kristen though. I really am, and I hope she can kind of keep her head in the game.
I'm glad you said that because for me, there's something about Kristen. I feel like she's like right here, like on this even kill, but I feel like she's going to somehow rise to the occasion in some way. And I feel like every season there's somebody that does that. Not that she's going to take over Ariel's position, but I think that she's going to start asserting herself as far as like really standing out.
Right.
You know, not that she's going to try to be a leader or anything like that, because I think that position's unlocked, but I think she's going to start asserting herself, and we're going to see more from her, you know, going forward. So I think that's what it is.
We shall see.
I
Shall see.
don't.
Baby Joe. I agree with you, Maria. I do not see
She's
that.
like,
Yeah.
okay,
Sorry.
no, that's cool. You don't have to agree with me. We will see how it goes down.
I think we'll see more out of
predictions
Ashley.
change?
Yes, I would.
I
I'm
think
thinking the same thing too.
Every single, you know, that's why we do it every week and see what happens. But ladies and gentlemen, that is officially our show. So excited. We want to thank Ariel for being here as always. Looking stunning.
She looks so
Yeah,
beautiful. You
she
can't even
does.
see her full outfit with the
She's
shoes.
okay.
and
She's
dress.
already, the shoes are banging.
looks so-
I'm not
yeah.
hating. Shoes are banging. And the eyebrows.
Ah.
Eyebrows on fleek. I'm in your host, Lynn Gonzalez. You can find me always at the Poet Saint all day. Robin, where can they find you, ma'am?
You can find me at B Stays Busy Bizzy.
Yeah. Maria!
You can find me at Maria Provenzano. All my links on Twitter will be there.
Boom.
You can find me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie, and you can probably find me at the gym tomorrow.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Miss Ariel, where can they find you, young lady?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Chef Ariel Malone.
Yes. Awesome.
That's that.
That's that. There it is.
Yeah.
Thank you for being
And
here.
next time she's coming, she will be here again before the season is over.
Yay!
She's going to bring food that we've never heard
Charcuterie.
of.
We've never heard of.
We've never heard of. And it's going to be amazing.
Platter.
All
You
right.
guys.
It's gonna
All
be
right,
amazing.
now,
Yes.
damn, they're holding me to it, huh?
There it is. All right, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.